Samwise Gamgee and Meriadoc Brandybuck, aka Mary, in our reading and discussion of The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring visual companion in just a few minutes. Stay tuned. Video Gamers Oasis on YouTube presents podcast mini-series The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring visual companion, my reading and commentary. Hello again, welcome back to Video Gamers Oasis presents The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring visual companion. This is a weekly reading of this visual picture book with some interesting articles based on Peter Jackson's classic fantasy movie series based on Lord of the Rings mythology creator Tolkien. So I hope you have your cup of tea or cup of coffee ready. I got my H2O. I already had my breakfast earlier today. It's a Sunday morning. I usually do these videos the night before, but I had a bad headache and I was exhausted. Yesterday I had to rest. I'm doing it this morning. Hopefully it should come out really early this afternoon. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to send some likes and love if you like Lord of the Rings. Subscribe to Video Gamers Oasis. Click the notification bell. I do appreciate it. Now we're on with the two chapters we're going to read. We learned about Bilbo Baggins, two great heroic hobbits, Frodo and Bilbo, and their adventures with the One Ring. They're very important players in The Hobbit as well as the Lord of the Rings epic. Now we're on to a new couple of hobbits we're going to learn about. Is Samwise Gamgee on page 16 and Meriadoc Brandybuck on page 18. So let's begin our reading and our discussion of the nice illustrations. Before I begin, I want to put on my reading glasses. Helps me to focus on what I'm reading. And I also have my handy dandy magnifying glass. Hobbits. Samwise Gamgee on page 16. Here's a photograph of the actor who played him. I really enjoy his acting. I think he's a Canadian actor. I'll mention his name post-recording, post-editing in the comments below, in the description below. Great actor who plays Samwise. He plays Frodo's buddy. Samwise Gamgee. A gardener, like his father, Hamfast, brackets, known as, quote-unquote, the Gaffer. Sam Gamgee has spent his whole life in and around the village of Hobbiton. Although he has explored the neighboring areas of the Shire with his friends, on mushroom gathering expeditions and vegetable raiding forays, he has never traveled further afield, even though he has been entranced by Bilbo Baggins' exciting tales. Tending the garden at Bag End, Sam has been treated to many of Bilbo's adventure stories about his journeys to foreign parts, where he encountered the more exotic folk of Middle-earth, elves. In particular, have taken Sam's fancy. Next paragraph. The barmaid at the Green Dragon Inn, Hobbiton's popular hostelry, has also captured Samwise's fancy. Young Rosie Cotton is one of the prettiest hobbits in the Shire, but unfortunately Sam is too shy to make approaches to her, despite the encouragement and teasing of his friends. Instead, he is happy to sit comfortably with a good smoke of pipe weed and a flagon of the finest Shire ale and listen to the chatter of others. So there's a close-up of Samwise here, and might as well there's a close-up of his feet as well. Next page, on page 17, here's another photograph of Samwise Gamgee picking some, it appears to be either lettuce or cabbage, some vegetable, and he's got his backpack behind on his back. And next paragraph on page 17. Quiet, solid, and dependable. Sam has always been the perfect companion for his friend and master, Frodo Baggins, to whom he is devoted. A hobbit of great heart, and great appetite. Sam refuses to be left behind when Frodo first undertakes his quest, although it is not clear at the outset what skills and qualities he can bring to the quest. For while he may be a practical and loyal lad, he is neither startlingly clever, nor obviously brave, nor yet skilled with a sword. Final paragraph. However, adversity can make heroes of even the most unlikely folk. In Sam's case, it may forge stubbornness into iron determination and fierce loyalty into extraordinary courage. And if you can see a little close-up between pages 16 and 17, there's a picture of Samwise Gamgee with Frodo Baggins. Side by side, best buddies. They are definitely close friends. And they're going to forge an even closer friendship on their dangerous quest with the ring later on in this book. And story as well, the movie. Now we're on to the next sub-chapter, you could say, of Hobbits. And we're going to learn about Meriadoc Brandybuck. See that time, street as fast, I dare you. And this is on page 18. We're going to learn about another Hobbit here. He's one of two more great buddies from Frodo who help him on his quest. Here we go. First paragraph. Meriadoc Brandybuck. To give him his full and rarely used proper name, is the son of the master of Brandybuck, and therefore comes from one of the Shire's most prominent and well-to-do families, but he is better known as Merry, an abbreviation that suits well his cheerful, sunny nature. And here we have a photograph of Meriadoc Brandybuck puffing a pipe, I assume pipe weed. He's wearing a nice yellow vest underneath the jacket and a cloak with a hood. Next paragraph. A mischievous, lively, and audacious lad, he has long been one of Frodo Baggins' closest friends, one fond of practical jokes, pranks, and getting into scrapes, particularly with his cousin Peregrine Took, more widely known as Pippin. We'll learn more about him later. Third paragraph. Like all hobbits, he loves to eat, drink, and have fun. Mushroom hunting, scrumping and purloining cabbages and carrots from the fields of neighboring farmers, like Farmer Maggot, or spending comfortable evenings in the bar of the Green Dragon Inn with a smoke of pipe weed has till now been the extent of, next paragraph on page 19, his experience of the world. But try keeping Merry Brandybuck at home when there's an adventure to be had, especially one that may involve a little danger. And at the bottom of the page, we have Meriadoc Brandybuck with his buddy Pippin, who we will learn about later on in the book. Page 19, next paragraph. Quite how much danger he is likely to see when joining Frodo on his quest, Merry has no idea, of course, but hobbits are a surprising folk whose finest qualities come to the fore, next paragraph, particularly in perilous situations, and a mischievous tendency for tricks and japes may be transformed under pressure into resourcefulness and courage. Final paragraph. Armed with a keen-edged elf knife, which he is given by the ranger known as Strider, Merry is soon to discover the true meaning of the word, quote-unquote, adventure. And here's another photograph of Meriadoc and his buddy Pippin hiding in some bushes. Perhaps hiding from some dangerous enemies we'll learn about later. And here's a little extra information about pipeweed on page 19. Let's learn a little bit more about the history of pipeweed. What's it all about? Pipeweed. Both Pippin and Merry have a great and practical interest in one of the Shire's favorite exports, pipeweed, a fragrant burning herb which is smoked in long clay and wooden pipes. A common of garden variety of Nicotiana, pipeweed is lovingly grown in various corners of Middle-earth, but it is generally accepted that the finest strains, including Long Bottom Leaf and Old Toby, have long been propagated and developed in the south farthing of the Shire. The habit of smoking pipeweed has spread far and wide from the Shire to the lands of men and beyond. Aragorn, son of Arathorn, shares the hobbit's love of the weed, as do the Istari wizards, Gandalf the Grey and Saruman the White. And here's a photograph of what a pipe looks like in this movie, in this mythology of the Lord of the Rings. So it's very similar to, from what I guess, it's not so much like Mary Jane, but it's more like nicotine cigarettes. They even have a type of plant called Nicotiana, from what I've learned. I could be mistaken. Leave your comments below. But it's much more closer to tobacco in our modern day real world type of variety that many people use today. So that's page 18 and 19. We just learned about Meriadoc Brandybuck as well as Samwise Gamgee. Leave your comments below and your likes for Samwise and Meriadoc if you like these characters in the movie. Tune in next episode. We're going to study one more Hobbit before we move on to the next chapter. We're going to learn about men after this following chapter, not right away. But we're going to learn about, first of all, we're going to learn about Peregrine Took, also known as Pippin. So that'll be on page 20. We're going to take a little break here, folks. That was our reading of The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring Visual Companion. I hope you had a good time. I certainly enjoyed studying these various characters, and it's been very educational for me, going back in time, not only to the actual reading material, but learning about the movie itself and how the actors and the actors played the characters, and also the various minor details of, like, for example, we learned about the drug they use. Let's call it for what it is. It's a drug, but very much like tobacco, pipeweed. We learned a lot about also Samwise and what his job was. He was very much into gardening, very loyal to his friend Frodo, but very shy. Too shy to say hello to the barmaid. spoilers. I think he falls in love with the barmaid at the very end of the story. But that's another story. That's our reading of Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring Visual Companion. Send some likes and love for Lord of the Rings if you like this kind of fantasy story. And we will continue on next weekend. I'm Jeremy from Video Gamers Oasis, thanking you for your attention as we go through memory lane, learning about Tolkien's fantasy epic. Bye for now.